Welcome to everyone who has made it down here from Dublin or Tullamore or any part of Ireland. And if we don't know why we're here, but I presume we all know, we're here to celebrate the Monimak Global Foundation Conference. So as we declare it open, we're going to call on, because I believe most of us here have the opportunity to get to know each other, or do we want to get to know each other better?
Yes.
Okay, please. Now we're going to do a warm welcome session. It's going to take 10 minutes. And what we're going to do is that we want people to move from their table. You can go to the left-hand side, you can come to the right-hand side, you can go across. You want to tell somebody who you are, what you do, and why you are here. That's very simple. My name is Yetunde Joyce, if I may start. Thank you so much. Can we stand up and have a warm welcome, please? Yeah. Thank you.
Wow.
Mrs. Yamisima Kunjola. She's going to give us a welcome speech. A round of applause for her.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're all welcome.
Thank you.
You're looking good, beautiful. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming, for honoring the invitation. My name is Yamisima Kunjola. People call me Yemi. My friends call me Emmy. Some will say Emmy. I'll say yes, me. It's Yemi. So I'm a mother. I'm a counselor. I'm a psychologist. I'm a sportswoman, still in sports. I really appreciate you and I thank you for coming. Monimak Global Foundation is not about religion. It's not about culture. It's not about tradition. It's all about women. What can we do for ourselves? How can we improve ourselves? We have a lot in us. Yeah. So this Monimak Global Foundation is not something that we can say, well, there is only Africans, it's only Irish, it's only Americans. No, it's all about women. And it's non-governmental organization supported by individuals. This has been going on in Africa, but this is our first time in Ireland. And I hope it goes a long way. What will I say? Our vision and our motion for this thing is to improve and to empower women. Women, we are so strong and so powerful. In this community, we need a change. And how are we going to start? Because we are strong and we are powerful. That's why I say, women, we can do and undo. We want to improve, we want to promote, what is it called? We want to promote our cultural diversity, where people can come together from different origin, different tribe, different tradition, interact together, living in love. By this, I know our community will improve. As a mother, I will transfer this to our children. When they go to school, there will be love. Within Irish, within an American, within Lafia, within Chinese, Africa, we all live together in love. The community will be at peace. Racism in school will reduce. Bullying in school will reduce. Fighting in school will reduce. This is our mission. And we know women can carry it on. We can also create awareness. This Monimak Global Foundation is to create awareness. What is going on around us, what we have within us, what we have to do. For instance, now I know there's an election coming up. most people that I know and where I've been to, why this gear me up is because I went to Dublin some times ago, is about go to vote. And they were telling people the reason why we need to go out there to vote. You can tell a lot of people have not even registered, not to talk of voting. So we want to create that awareness in our community. Why are we voting? Who are we voting for? What do we have to offer them? What are they going to offer us? What are we going to do to support them just to make the community to move? Because we are in the community, we have to do our own part to make the community to move on. And as a woman, we have a lot in us that many of us don't know. This is what we want to bring out. This is our mission, this is our vision, to bring out the value in women. We are so intelligent, we are so strong, we are so powerful, we cannot be ignored in any society. In any group where women are not part of it, you can tell. And we should know this, that we are so important. This is what we want everybody, all women to know. This is one of our mission. This is our mission, that we should know who we are. Even, this is not religion issue now. In the creation of the world, devil knows that if he carry his own mission out through women, he will succeed. That's why he went through women, to deceive the whole world. But when the salvation will come back again, it's through women. So women, we cannot be ignored anyway. So that's why we need to buckle up. We don't want women to be dying of maybe stress, dying of things that are not worthy, that does not even worth it. We don't want women to be stressed up. We have a lot in us. We have to look good. We have to look beautiful. We have to know that thing in us. We have to empower ourselves. We have to keep fit. Know what we eat, know when to eat, know when not to eat. So this is all the thing we want to bring out in women. That thing, we are so intelligent. So those things, we want to bring them out first. And I know our speaker, they have a lot for us. They have it in package. We are still expecting one of our speakers. So I will still welcome everybody and be patient and give us your attention, please, to empower yourself, not just to go in vain today, to empower yourself. So you are all welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate the speakers that are here already. I really thank you and I welcome you for giving us the time. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to welcome Pastor Honey Emmanuel to give us the welcome address as we expect GB, because GB is actually taking the first thing on the agenda. Pastor Honey Emmanuel is going to tell us a little bit about Monimak Global Foundation and why we're here too. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Honey Emmanuel. I'm a pastor, a father, husband. Well, I'm a little bit into fitness, psychologist, and a counselor. Well, I've known Yemi for a while. I know she's a lady of vision. I could remember most of the time when if we were talking, Yemi used to say, if you don't have a vision, you don't have a future. And I know she carries vision, and I'm only privileged to work with her. And she said, okay, Monimak Global Foundation have been going on in Africa. She has been touching nations in Africa, impacting the less privileged in different aspects of life. And she just called me and said, Honey, can we work together and bring Monimak to Ireland in order to impact women? Though the vision, the major aspect of it is to empower women, but women and family. Women and family. Because if nation is peaceful, it starts from the house. And definitely, and I said, okay, I can work with you. And we started putting things together a few weeks ago, or can I say a month. Then we organized people that are going to give us a speech today concerning bringing our children in this 21st century, because some of us, we just have those kids in the house, we don't really know them. Somehow you don't know what they were doing on their phone, you don't know what they're doing on their with the internet, either you are around or not, and how to bring them, because the children are the leaders of future, in order to bring them in a way of a good manner. Okay, Yemi said Monimak is not about religion. Definitely it's not about religion, culture, or whatever. And one of the topics that is going to come up today is going to be about empowering us when it comes to entrepreneurship. How, with the little you have, what can you do? How can you be self-employed and get people out of a social welfare office? And the little you do, after all, Steve Jobs starts somewhere. Bill Gates starts somewhere. And the little you have is like a seed in your hand. If you can plant it and nurture it, and it's going to become a big company. And I know most of us here are CEO that somebody have to work under us. We carry ideas, but somehow we just need somebody to propel us and show us the radar to open, the button to press, the escalator that will get you to the where you're going to. And we have somebody that's going to handle that today within us. And one of the topics that is coming up is going to be, marital challenges. Marital challenges, and how are we going to do, what can we do? How are we coming to this 21st century, having single mothers out there? I know it's not everybody that believes in God, and it's not about church. We are not talking religion, Muslim or whatever, but I believe in God. You know, I'm a pastor, but I want to believe God doesn't design it that way. And imagine the stress, the burden, the heartbreaking that is happening where you're supposed to have love, and somebody's going to handle that for us today. And I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. And in a few minutes now we're going to roll everything. I have my sister, the name again, Kamal. She's a trainer. She trained people how to manage stress. And very soon we are bringing her now. And we are still expecting 2 more of the speakers. And we roll everything in order. There's going to be a break in the middle, but I know you're going to enjoy yourself, and it's going to be an empowerment for our life, individually, and for every family. And my name is Monimak. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Can we welcome Kamal Duffy? Am I right? Did I pronounce your name well?
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to be speaking.
It's just 5 minutes.
Okay, I'm Carmel Duffy, and I'm from Tullamore. And I have a nice, interesting career. I began working in the civil service, and I worked in Dublin and in Athlone, and then in Tullamore. Then I decided to study beauty, colour, image, colour analysis, as in the clothes you wear, clothes, hair, makeup, glasses, jewellery, and looking at the personal presentation of people. Then I began to study a 2-year diploma in counselling and a certification in adult tutoring. So I started training people in terms of their personal presentation around interviews. And then stress is the research subject that I took in Maynooth, and then I took it as an adult tutor as well. And it's one of the more popular training courses out there at the moment. So we look at stress as anxiety is the feeling, and stress is the state you're in. And sometimes people find it as a threat. So we train people to have their own toolbox, like an ambulance, the 999 coming out. But you have your tools, and you're ready to try and cope with this, and don't look at it as a threat, and see that it is ordinary, everyday living. And we can't eliminate it from life. So we look at it that we really, really can't eliminate it, and that we cope with it, and cope with it as much as we possibly can. Now that's one of the more popular ones. Communication skills is another, where people find problems interpersonally relating to people. Understanding, you know, is somebody picking up the point of what I'm trying to make, or are they a little bit passive? Or is there a lot of emotions they're charging people in terms of anger, which is a powerful feeling, but we can't take it out aggressively. So we run many workshops in terms of communication. And where I got my invitation today, I was in the middle of giving a stress management course in the community centre in Arden last Monday, and yourself came into me and said we were giving a seminar on empowering women, and the other trainees would love to have come, but they had arrangements made for the weekend. So I said I'll come and I'll relate back empowering women. So basically that's what we do. Now I'm caught on the hop. I usually come with my briefcase and have everything prepared, so I've been caught on the hop. But the minute I came in I got a good feel, and I am certainly enjoying it. And I met Mary, who I knew 100 years ago. You're looking beautiful.
Ask questions. We're going to introduce Princess Dixon Olutai. A round of applause for her. And entrepreneurship. Thank you so much.
The internet.
Not know is that time, they said, is money. But that's not a cliche. You may think it just means, it's just some funny thing. It's not. Time is money. And when we say time is money, you need to ask yourself, what is your time worth? Like I say to people, I was just saying to the doctor here that I used to teach with the VEC, IT and Business Studies, when I came in 1999. And the first thing that I just said to myself is, I'm not going to be doing the cleaning job. I'm just not cut out to clean. I can't even clean my own house. So I'm not going to be cleaning, I'm not going to be catering, I'm not going to be doing any of that stuff. I'm going to look for a job in an area that I've been trained to do. And sometimes when we come to a country where we don't know anybody, it's very easy to think that they don't like us, so they won't give us job. Okay, fine, maybe. But then you just go out and train some more. And when I got here, it was obvious that there were certain processes that were happening in England that they were trying to transport here. I'm a trained vocational skills assessor, which means that I can literally go to anybody's job and assess your skills and then recommend you for certification or qualification with any of the FITAC and all those places. FITAC is common here, so and that's why I'm saying FITAC. But Cambridge University and all those places, that's what I do. I assess people's skills. And then when I came here, the minimum I get paid is €50 per hour. So when you're putting a value to your time, you need to ask yourself, how much is that time worth? If it's €20 per hour, if you spend €20 in somebody's event, you've just given them €20. If you spend 5 hours, you've just spent €100. If your time is valueless, people will treat you without value. So we're talking here, I had about 2 hours to talk with Sister MEC yesterday, and I get the point that she's trying to make is, let's put some value on ourselves. Let's tell ourselves that we are people of value. That when you stand anywhere and you want to talk, there is a window of opportunity that places you in the €100 an hour mark. If you have to train for it, please go and train for it. Nobody's going to argue with you when you're properly trained. I would like to introduce myself as an emotional health therapist. When people hear emotional health, they think about unhealthy. Unhealthy is the opposite of health. So I'm actually helping people to stay well and to be well, regardless of wherever they've been. And that's something that I trained for away from the VEC when the recession started, because I lost my job. And I just said to myself, that's it, I'm not going to social welfare. They killed me to go for social welfare. And then they said, look, this recession is starting, we don't know when it's going to end. And so what I did with the social welfare system is that I used it as a leverage to retrain. I retrained as a journalist. I became a first-class student in a class of 22 students to do journalism, to graduate in journalism. I went for my exam with my fractured leg because I realized that there's a pattern in my life where you start something and if you stop, you don't finish it. Yeah. And so when I registered for journalism, I said to myself, if they have to carry me into that hall, I will finish this exam. Determination is the other thing. Yes. Yeah. If you're going to succeed in entrepreneurship, you need to have a hunchback, thick skin, and a will that breaks every rock that you meet. Because you will meet rocks. You will meet people who will discourage you. You will meet people who will tell you you're doing rubbish. You'll meet people who will tell you, we know it's a scam, whatever it is. Some people are just like that. You need to be determined. You need to be focused. You need to know what you are doing. You need to know what you are worth. But more importantly is that you also need to know who your target audience is. You are not sent to save the world. You cannot save the world. So if you have, I was talking to a lady the other day and she said, oh, I have this vision and it's to meet certain group of women, I'm not going to say, certain group of women, but somebody said to her, oh, do it for, thank you very much, do it for, every body. And I said, you can't do that. You won't sell anything because not everybody is going to buy from you. And if you don't understand that not everybody is going to buy from you, you will struggle. Yeah, you will struggle in vain. And you don't want to do that when you're counting your time in hours and in money. So those kind of things are things that we build into entrepreneurship. Skill, value, self-worth, qualifications, and of course, looking at yourself in the right perspective and building value around your customers, because without clients, there's no business. And proper marketing is very important. Now, I have a short clip here. Thank you very much. Okay, the parable of the pipeline is that his father told him as they were growing up. There were two cousins, Pablo and Bruno. They were very ambitious, entrepreneurial, in a small Italian village. They were big dreamers.
They would talk endlessly about how someday, some way, they would become the richest men in the village.
They wanted to become the richest men in the village.
All they needed was an opportunity.
They were looking for an opportunity.
One day, that opportunity arrived. The village decided to hire 2 men to carry water from a nearby river to a...
And so the village decided to hire 2 men to carry buckets of water. That was the opportunity arrived. And so they became the best bucket carriers in the village.
The village elder paid them 1 penny for each bucket of water.
1 penny per bucket.
This is our dream come true.
Dream come true.
I can't believe our good fortune. But Pablo wasn't so sure.
Pablo wasn't sure.
His back ached and his hands were blistered from carrying the heavy bucket.
He didn't like the heavy load.
He dreaded getting up and going to work.
Getting up early in the morning.
He vowed to think of a better way.
There's got to be a better way, he said to himself.
Bruno, I have a plan.
So he went to his cousin
They grabbed their bucket
with this big dream.
Instead of lugging buckets back
Instead of carrying buckets around, why don't we build a pipeline? We've heard of the pipeline dream.
Bruno stopped dead in his tracks. A pipeline?
Whoever heard of a pipeline? It's never been done before.
We've got a great job.
We have a great job. 9 to 5. 100 buckets a day, 1 penny a bucket. We're rich. New pair of shoes, a car, vacation, 2 weeks holiday. This is the life. It's set for life. 1 penny a day a bucket. Pablo was not sure. His hands were already blistered. And so he did 50-50 with his time. He lost an income to follow his dream. Perhaps maybe a year, maybe 2 years. It's a price that you pay to follow your dream.
Pablo believed in his dream, and he went to work.
And so he put energy, effort, time. He leveraged all that to follow his dream. And while we're waiting for the internet,
The villagers began mocking Pablo.
and so they started mocking Pablo.
Pipeline man.
You know people who will mock you for your dream. We all have them.
Almost twice as much money as Pablo.
They started calling him the pipeline man, pipeline dream.
Outfitted with a
And the cousin bought a donkey with leather saddles, brand new leather saddles. Flashy clothes, built a house. He was buying drinks to everybody. He was the rich man. 1 bucket a day, 1 penny per bucket. And so he had friends. Social status increased.
Pablo kept digging his pipe.
Pablo kept digging.
Pablo didn't have much to show for his effort.
Half salary, half dream.
Even harder than Bruno, because Pablo was working evenings and weekends too.
working weekends as well.
Tomorrow's dreams are built on today's.
This is my message. Tomorrow's dreams are built on today's sacrifices.
Inch by inch is a cinch. Chanted to himself as he swung his pickaxe into the rock.
Short-term pain equals long-term gain. You pay the price today, you relax tomorrow.
Short-term pain equals long-term gain, he reminded himself as he scuttled into his humble hut, exhausted from another day's work.
Always keep your eyes on the goal. Focus, focus. Pipeline was 50% done. And so he was almost done. 50%, so he put in more energy. Because you can see the goal almost completed. So he put in more effort, put in more time. Meanwhile, Bruno the bucket man is getting older. 2 years from now, you will be older by 2 years. You do nothing today, in 2 years' time, it will not change your age. Doomed to carrying buckets, he was. 1 penny per bucket. Hunched, blistered hands, pain. And so the same people who celebrated him started mocking him because they could see that there's something better coming from the pipeline. If you follow your dream, the same people who mocked you will come back and celebrate you. He couldn't have. He got older, pained, bruised. He couldn't afford those drinks again. And the pipeline was complete. Look at that. And there's a pipeline in every house now from somebody's dream. And now we don't even know how many people are building pipelines. They just need to go and learn how to do it on somebody's dream. And so he leveraged his time and he became a miracle worker. They changed his name. When Bruno was making it, they called him Mr. Bruno. Now he's Pablo is the miracle worker. Even the mayor is looking for him. Pablo had plans to build beyond the village. He had a global vision. And so his competitor, Brother Bruno, went out of business. 1 penny per bucket. Because nobody wants to work too hard anymore. And people want a retirement plan that works. People are the business. And so he went to the person he knows. He went to network that opportunity to build more pipelines. In 2 years, he became the expert on pipelines. And so he wanted to teach Bruno the same system without the thinking, the hard work. What is the best use of your time right now? Are you leveraging your time, your efforts, your labor properly? Because you need to ask yourself, is there a better way that I can do what I'm doing? A small percentage, when you teach people what you're doing, a small percentage of your time goes into teaching them. Teach 4 people what you do, you have 4 people to send, and then you cut back 4 hours of your time, what? To your family, maybe.
Bruno finally saw the big picture. He smiled and extended his calloused hand to his old friend. They shook hands and then hugged like long-lost brothers. Years passed.
There's about 3 minutes left to this video. But I'm going to keep talking while it's scrolling. So years passed, and they became a partner. They formed a partnership, and they kept going. They kept teaching people how to do what they know how to do. It's called networking. You know people who know people who know people who know people. And so you teach them, you teach them, you teach them, you teach them. You teach them what you already know. You pour out what you already do. And so they begin to do what you do. There's no pain in that. Because when you empower people to empower other people, you have a team. You have an army of people who know what you do. Who can also stand and say, I learned what it's called mentorship, mentoring. And so that's what they started doing. But you can't save the world, because here even, people have the same excuses. I don't have time. My friend of a friend, I know somebody who did it. It didn't work for them. It won't work for me. Go ahead. Only the ones who start early make money. I've been picking buckets all my life. That's all I know how to do. I'm not doing anything else. I know people who do this pipeline scam. It's a scam. Not me. Nobody's going to fool me.
True.
So you cannot save the world. But the ones that you can impact will be empowered to better their lives and form a retirement plan. It's just the way the world is. And when you understand that there are things that you can invest your time in, your money in, and then those things begin to work for you, you will know how best to utilize the money that you earn now and put them into schemes, into things. Even if people say it doesn't work. I have sold a house once before, and they said there's a stock exchange somewhere, and I took all my savings and I dropped it into it. People did make money at the time, but mine sunk. It's a risk you have to take.
Yes.
But you don't sit down and gloat and you say, it didn't work for other people, it didn't work for me, so I'm not doing it again. Hello, I don't want to work so hard, but I do want to retire comfortably. I'm not there yet, but I'm well on my way. And if there's any of you who are thinking the same way, I believe that is why Sister Yemisi is starting what she's starting now. We will be talking to her because she will be setting up success principles and how we can key into it. Thank you.
Thank you. That was brilliant. The next thing on the agenda is upbringing children in this century, and we have GB in our midst. We're going to welcome her to introduce herself better, to tell us what she does or what she's doing at the moment, and to make her presentation. A round of applause for her. Thank you so much.
I'm very delighted to be here, celebrating a movement that encourages women and their family in different aspects of life. This is an area that I am deeply interested and motivated to work in. And I just want to say a big thank you to Yemisi Makajola for the invitation. I'm honored to be here. I'll introduce myself. My name is, I like to call myself Gorgeous GB. And I also like to call myself a fruit basket. And I'll tell you just a quick story. I love to tell stories. There was a time I was confused. You know, I had this many hearts and talents and gifts and call it what have you. Then I was wondering, what do I do? What am I going to do? What direction do I go to? So I was talking to this lady and I said, I have all these many things that I can work as and do, and I don't know what direction to go. And she listened to me. I just kept on talking, and then she said, the only thing she said to me is, whatever you decide to do, don't be a jack of all trades. So that hit me real big, and then on my way home, I started to think, jack of all trades, that's a master of none. I don't want to be that. And for a good bit of time, I was thinking about it, and it was bothering me, until at some point I just thought of it, I was like, wait a minute, I have a fruit basket in my kitchen, and I have different fruits in it, and I can go in and pick whatever fruit I like. So I'd rather see myself as a fruit basket. I have all these gifts, I believe in God, and I believe He didn't make a mistake when He gave me all these gifts to use. So I say, well, I'm not a jack of all trades. I'm a fruit basket. You can go in there, pick a fruit, or if you want, you can make a smoothie. And then you have me in the different things. I have, I write poems, I sing, I love to plan events and all that, so I can be an event coordinator. But why I'm here this morning is because I run an organization, and it's called The Adorable Mom. And this is something that I'm passionate about. Adorable Mom is my life, it's my passion. I'm a mom of two, a 10 and an 8-year-old boy and a girl. So to go into today's topic, it's children moral upbringing in the 21st century. And when I saw that topic, I went, oops, do I have all the tips? Do I have all the, how it works and all that? And I thought to myself, fortunately I don't. I don't have all the know-hows and how it works, but I thought, well, I could share the little that I know. Because the truth is, with parenting, there is really no set rule as to how it works. And it's not a one-size-fits-all. What works for me and my children wouldn't work for the next person. You have all the theories, but it's not a one-size-fits-all. So I found this activity not to say, not to teach you, not to tell you, not to show you exactly how to raise your kids, but it's just to inspire hearts to say, well, even though there isn't a one-size-fits-all, it's not a one-size-fits-all task, but it's something that we can do. So to start my talk, and I just had this little Johnny who very inquisitive went to his mom and said, Mom, you seem to have gray hair in your hair now. Why is that? And the mom looked at him very cleverly and she's like, yeah, this is a good time to hit him. He said, that's because you've been giving me too much troubles lately. So he looked at her for a minute and said, Mom, Grandma has a lot of gray hair. That means you must have been really, really naughty. You know, and it just shows how innocent and impressionable and children can be, but it also shows how highly intelligent they can be. And in the 21st century, this is something that we're faced with. Children are highly intelligent. They almost seem to know more than we do these days. They're so tech savvy. I'm only in my 30s, but there's certain things that my 10-year-old comes to do for me. I got a new phone a few weeks ago, and he kept saying, no, Mommy, let me show you this. And I was like, no, I can do it myself. And then I was struggling with them, like, Mommy, no, I'll show you. And after struggling for a while, I eventually gave in, and 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, it was done. And I thought, he's only 10-year-old. I remember when he was born. But then that's the 21st century that we're in. Kids are really smart, they're intelligent, they're really tech savvy, and a whole lot of other things. Much more than our own parents or grandparents faced. We're faced with a whole lot. So what exactly is it about the 21st century? There's this paradox of our age, written by Dalai Lama, that says that we have, just go to the slides and make it, yeah, we have bigger houses, but smaller families. Some of you might have heard this before. We have all the conveniences, but we have less time. We have the degrees, but we have less sense, more knowledge, less judgment, and all of that. I'll just leave the screen there. Yeah, and we build more computers to hold more information, to produce more copies than ever, but we're doing less and less communication. We have all these things in the 21st century, but is it really making our lives easier? Is it really making things easier for us? In some way, yes, it is, but in other ways, it's making things more complicated for us. That's what the 21st century mother is faced with. So what, with all of this, what's the greatest challenge that the 21st century mother has, and what can she do about it? And we have an online, a Facebook group, and actually today we reached our 40,000 member mark just before I left home this morning, which I'm excited about. And I took a poll on that group a few weeks ago, and I asked them, what is the greatest challenge that the mother faces in this day and age? And there were a lot of different things, but the one that kept coming up was the child upbringing, how to raise a child, how to train a child. And the other thing that kept coming up was the time, how to balance this with home, with work, children, family, career, and all of these things. And the truth is that people is working around She has to look after her kids, take care of breakfast, take care of the home. We all do this. We all know how it works. She goes to work, she's working at work. She comes back home, her work continues. She goes to bed tired, wakes up the next morning, and the cycle just goes on and on and on. So what's she really going to do? How is she going to get herself to attain the best and to effectively play all her role and attain success? I mapped out a few things and I called them the B's. And there are a few things that every mother needs to do if she must be able to, first of all, stay on top of all this, because it requires not energy, physical energy, mental energy, emotional energy. You're being pulled left, right, center. In the morning it's mommy, 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 mommy. You go to work. If you work for yourself, the customers are coming in, or your clients. If you work for a boss, he needs you to do things. You're being pulled everywhere. You come back home, you need just 5 minutes to yourself, but no, you have mommy, mommy, mommy to do homework, dinner, and you know all of these things. But some of the things that the 21st century mom must do, I called it the bee principle. And I said, to be able to buzz around like a bee, around your flowers tirelessly and produce lovely honey, you must do the following. And that's picturing us as the bee. We're so busy with all around. Our children are the flowers, and the success we want from our parenting role is the honey. You must be confident. Find every way to be confident. Do whatever you can to boost your confidence, your self-esteem. Guard it jealously. Be fit. Yeah, do exercise. It's always easier said than done. But the truth is, we really do need these things because we need it to keep going. Eat well, rest well, go for regular checkups. There's so much going on these days with health. Be stable, mental health. I've had very close needs with mental health, and I'm very passionate about it. And I know how easily and how very quickly you can go from being stable to being unstable mentally. And there's such a thin line between sanity and insanity. And 21st century mom to hold her stuff together, she needs to find every way to be stable. Surround yourself with positive people. Be positive yourself in every area of her life. 21st century mom has to be positive. There's so much bad news going on. So much bad things going on around. And it's awkward that there are that many good things going on, but the media is more interested in showing us the bad things that's going on. And we're constantly being fed with all these things. And at some point, it would almost seem like there's no good thing going on yesterday. And I was, for some awkward reason, touched by so many different things. At first I sneezed, I was in the post office, and then there was a guy behind me, and he said, "Bless you." And I haven't heard someone say that to me in a long time, and for some reason I was like, wow, thank you. And then I got on the bus, in the train, sorry, and a gentleman, I needed a pen. I found out I didn't have my pen, and I asked him if he could use his pen. He gave me the pen, so he could keep it, and then he engaged me in the chat. And these little things, although it doesn't seem like much, but it mattered to me because it's an act of kindness, and it's not something we readily see these days. And a few other things that went on in the day. But there's so many good things. It's not even personal things, but there are good things going on in the world. This is one good thing. We men gathered here discussing how to better ourselves, how to move on forward. But the media is more interested in the sadness, and that's what they bring to us and feed us with all the time. And it's so easy to be drained by all this. So a 21st century mother needs to find a way to be positive, find her own way to stay positive. And also, I know life can be so mean. I mean, ask me and I tell you how cruel and horrible life can be. But the truth is, in every bad situation, there's always a good. In every bad, and there's a beautiful side to every ugliness. And whenever life throws stuff at us, 21st century mother, which it will, is just to find that beauty in the ugliness and find the good and the bad. Be up and doing, study more, seek knowledge. Seek to know better, attend conferences like we're here. We're all looking to, learn more, know more, read books, listen to positive messages, be open-minded, broaden your horizon, be hungry for knowledge, be financial savvy, have an emergency fund. We just recently listened to a guy, and he talked about the 7 baby steps of finances, and it was so liberating for me. It's on YouTube. Have some savings and plan for the children's future, and be strong. In the face of all this, you need to be strong. If you're not strong for yourself, nobody else will be strong for you. You need to be strong for yourself as a 21st century mom. So fine, look at yourself and all that. What do I do with the kids? I still have the kids. Yeah, I've looked at myself, but I still have the kids. But as parents, the truth is, we shape the lives of our children. But with the things we do not say and the things that we do not do, they're watching us constantly. They're taking every single thing in. They're like sponges, just everything and anything. Sometimes my kids come to me and say, "Oh, mommy," and they start telling me, "You're this, you're this." And I'm like, they figured me out so well, so perfectly, and they'll tell me what they think about me, and it'd be so true. And I'd be amazed at how much they see, how much they hear, how much they're watching me and watching my steps and everything. Just very recently, I do this diary of an adorable mom for the online group, and something my daughter just came up and said, "I want to do the diary of a glorious." She says she wants to do the same thing, and she's going to write a diary, and she did exactly what I do on the page. Now, I do this at my desk and I do my own thing, but sometimes I tell them, "Oh, look," maybe they do something interesting, I say, "Look, I'm going to tell all other moms that you did this and all that." And she did exactly the same thing. And she got a book. She asked me to give her a book. I gave it to her, and she's been keeping her own diaries. And I'm, just keep wondering, like, the little thing, and she's taking it on. It's becoming a part of her as well. And so many other things that she probably might not even be able to express, and I wouldn't be able to tell that she has. So parenting is a very difficult task, and we all know. But it's very important that we do it with a purpose, that we parent with a purpose, because it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I mean, if we have children, we can very easily set them in the right path and be sure that with one little drop at a time, we can make a mighty ocean in this world that seems to be so lost. So in 21st century, it's so complex and there's so many rapid changes going on. And to meet this vision of success as adults in the 21st century, and one thing is, I find is that we need to raise happy children, well-adjusted kids. And it's Oscar Wilde who said, the best way to make children good is to make them happy. So the first thing is to seek to make them happy. Do things, find a way to bring out the good side in them, and then you'll see them doing good and excelling well. And one thing is, some of us might have children who have passed a certain age, or kids might be teenagers and all that. But for anyone who has kids under 5, start early. That's the secret to it. Start early. I was reading up, I found out that kids between the age 0 to 5 years, that's their foundation years, that's the building blocks of their lives. Whatever a child is going to become in later life, he gets most of that structure or that foundation built at that age, that very, very early and tender age 0 to 5. So if your kids are under that age, is to say start early, put in that extra bit of effort to parent with a passion, with a purpose. And the thing is, I find, businesses, when they're going to start off, they have their mission statement, they have all these things well laid out, they're so structured. I find that individuals in our individual lives, we just go, with whatever comes, and we just do things the way we are. But I've come with this message to say, look at your kids today and see a future in them. See just more than that child. See a big thing that could happen to the world, and start to treat that child, relate with that child in that manner. Because in those foundation years, you can do so much more. But what if your kids have gone past the foundation years? Well, yeah, it's never too late. You can still reach out to them at whatever stage they have. Some of the things that you could do is, as a 21st century mom, is to lighten up. When my kids were young, I was reading up this resource, and I found that this information of somewhere on a book or a website, I can't remember now too well, but it says the greatest qualities a parent must have, and I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me, is lots of patience and a great sense of humor. Because sometimes we can get so serious and we can all get so bugged up with our own lives and what's going on that we forget that kids are just kids, and we just need to kind of come down to their level and let them be kids and just let them have fun. And for us also to go into that moment and enjoy it with them. Be positive again, look after yourself, seek to build a strong relationship with them, focus on communication skills. Communication skills is very important. I would say, if I said to you, will you shut up? And I said to her, can you keep quiet please? I've just passed the same message, but then it will have different effects. And that's the power of communications. It's different words, the same message, but different effects. So learning communication skills is one great thing, and it's one way that we can actually secure our parenting role. Don't look for perfection. You probably all know that nobody's perfect. And the kids aren't either. So don't torture yourself with the how to parent and don't do this and do that. But make an effort to stay relaxed, and that way you'll be able to reach out to your kids more. Then know your kids, know them for who they are, know them for what they are, know each child for himself, and relate with each child as a unique person. Don't compare children. Don't put them under this pressure with too many high standards that they're probably not able to meet. And also some of the basics that you could teach your child is instill in them the understanding that if they work hard, they can achieve more and they can learn and improve in any area. And be a learner yourself and help your child think of learning as a long and wide process. And then that brings me to the next. For the 21st century mother, the message I have for every 21st century mother is because there's really no hard and fast rule, there's really no set rules as to how to get it right all the time, but it's to look at parenting as a tool. Use your position as a mother, as a parent, as a father to positively influence your children. And by doing that, you can reach out to the community and the whole world at large. So your child will go out there, relate to other people, and that way part of you is being passed on to other people as well. And also, just like the mighty drops of water makes a mighty ocean. So if I do my bit, if you do your bit, if you do your bit, everybody does their own little bit. The world is in chaos, but our little bits can someday make that mighty ocean. I also like to see parenting as a networking, as networking. You know, with networking, the whole idea is there's one person who knows two people, there's two people who could reach out to four people, from that four persons, they could reach out to more, and it just keeps going down that way. And I like to see a mother, think of a mother like that. That's the mother there. She has maybe 3-4 children. Each child is going to be tons and tons of people along their journey in life. They go to play school, they go to primary, secondary, university, work, and they're meeting people, they're relating with people, and a part of you is going with them. So therefore, the little that we do with our children is actually a lot more than we sometimes think or see. So just to see parenting as networking, and for each child, you can invariably reach out to tons and tons and countless number of lives which you can influence people. Another thing that I like to see children as, and that I like to relate parenting to, is the arrow in the hands of a warrior. When in the olden days, I know we don't have warriors that much these days, but in the olden days, the warriors had their bows and arrows, and they go to war, and they have a target, and it's just, whatever way they do it, they send the arrow out and target, and it breaks the target down, and for whatever reason, I like to see kids like that. I see myself as that warrior, and my children are my arrows, and I see me throwing them out into the world and say, you go get them there and do some great exploits, and you go get them there and do something mighty. And like that mighty warrior, each one of us have our arrows in our hands. And my question is, where is your arrow going to land? When you finally throw your arrow, I was born, bred, raised in one little town in Nigeria called Ibadan. And my parents had no clue that there was going to be someday I'd be here in Ireland. But some 30-something years after, I'm standing here in Ireland, in TULLAMORE, and I'm doing what I'm doing. They just did their own bit. In the same way, I have no clue where my kids are going to be in the next 10 years or next 20 years. They could wake up 10 years and say, oh, Mom, I want to go study in Australia. And Australia, we came away from Nigeria, we're in Ireland, we're going to Australia. But that's the way it works. So where is your arrow going to land? I like to think of Obama. His mom threw his arrow and he landed in the White House. So where is your arrow going to land? That's the question for you today. Just before I go, I want you to always remember this. Because sometimes with parenting, it can get so heavy and the kids are driving you nuts and then sometimes the world is so cruel, life is so cruel, the finances aren't there, you're thinking about that, you're drained about that, one thing isn't working, the relationship is going messy, and you know, so many things, and it's so easy to forget that you are actually an adorable mom. That whatever you do, you're beautiful with a purpose, and that you're a commander of great destinies. This is the command, just our little statement in Adorable Mom, and I want to leave you with that today. Is that you should always remember that you are ABC. You're adorable, you're beautiful with a purpose, and you're a commander of great destinies. Thank you very much.
Question?
If it is one thing, not an everyday, if the can becomes an everyday, it actually becomes bad because the children won't even listen to when the kids come home. But if they know my son who is 50, don't go and tell me. Who is 18 now? We only met him twice for the 18 years. Wow. Isn't it? We are employing both. The Irish way and he knows that when the cane is coming out, it's coming out. Wow. Whether you're 18 or you are quite worried. So get them together in. Get them together in.
Create a balance.
Create a balance. That's right. And they know it. And the other thing which I want to encourage women is know the technology.
That's right.
I know the technology. So whatever the children will be doing, they know
You're
that
one step
I will
ahead of
know
them.
it. That's one thing. Know the technology, do everything, know about it, and when they do something, it's just a matter of one click, and I got you. That's the trick. So do it.
I actually, did you want to say something? No, I actually wanted to say that it is true what everybody has said. And I've been saying what you're saying for years. It's actually very encouraging to have an Irish lady come and actually say this because it's not wrong. The only where it becomes wrong, and like my friend said here, command and control is what is the abuse. Yeah. When you cannot negotiate with them, because don't forget, what we know now, some of our parents didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they know now, some of us, it's foreign to a lot of us. So if you can find a balance, it actually works well. Command and control is abuse. If I'm standing beside you and you slap my face, you have abused me, I will try to slap you back. And a lot of us slap our children. We shouldn't. Because I was brought up on the cane. I know about the wooden spoon. I wish I had the sense to hide mine. Because for years I hated my mom for that wooden stick. But you see, it kept us in line at the time. It did its job. Because that's what they knew. Now we know what you're saying. We know we can balance, we can do a balancing act. Here in Ireland, let's not make any mistake. If you are caught abusing your children, they will take the children of you. Yeah. Children, especially, well, I don't know about the Irish children, but I know that my heart bleeds for a lot of Africans, and our children are being taken away. Yeah. And for very teeny-weeny little things. Children lie. Yeah. Yeah. Students lie. If you have a student who is a child, they lie twice. And so, and I don't know, when relationships are breaking up, it's almost like they have this mental savvy to understand how to play two people together. And then they do a divide and rule in the house, and they walk one parent against the other so that they begin to fight. But this is it. If you understand how their mentality works, you can beat them at that game. But for God's sake, there is a right way to use that wooden spoon, and there's a wrong way to use it. Even the law allows it. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, could
Yeah.
I just say something? Am I wrong in my thinking? But you are not allowed here in Ireland to slap your child. No. No, I'm just.
You can't slap them. No, you can't.
Yeah, no,
you can't slap them.
No.
There's that, the things
Yeah,
you
which
cannot
means
do.
you cannot use the wooden spoon.
No, you.
You can't. No. It's illegal.
I know what
It's
you're
illegal
saying.
now.
I can show you.
Yeah. Oh, no, don't worry, we come back to you.
No, it's not.
I report you.
Mother or father.
I have.
But it's illegal. You've been a brilliant child, Carol. I was
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, that just be here to do it now.
May I use this opportunity to introduce the host? Hello.
Okay.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for everyone. Thank you so much. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. May I use this opportunity to invite the host and to introduce her to those that came late. Mrs. Yemisi Makonchola. Thank you so much. And also, we have a woman in our midst. She's always calm. Whenever we have a program, Health and Joking, you see her sitting down and very calm. Can I use this opportunity to welcome Mrs. Bidemi Oni Emmanuel, please? Thank you so much. And also, our husband is here, Pastor Oni Emmanuel. Please, he's one of our coordinators. Thank you so much. And this is not planned, but we'd like to welcome one of our can I ask you a question, please? We'll give you time before the end of the program. Are you just coming up as a counselor or a counselor at the moment, please? Okay. Can we address you as a counselor?
Oh, God.
Please, can we welcome Councillor Sinead to the high chair? Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you, everyone. I believe we've enjoyed ourselves and I have learned a lot. I'm sorry, don't be surprised, I changed. It's fitness now, before the lunch time. But it's
That should be after. That should be after the lunch.
No, it comes before the lunch, please, ma'am. And I'm going to invite the Keep Fit team. Thank you so much. Give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, I want you to join your hands together. Join your hands together. You're changing in a minute, yeah. Thank you for taking time. Pastor Oni Emmanuel has said a lot about Monimak Global Foundation. And also, we're going to give Mrs. Yemisi 5 minutes to talk about this foundation first. Then she can go and change while we do some exercises. Please. Mrs. Yemisi Makonjola, we're going to give you 2 minutes to talk about Monimak Global Foundation before we launch the Keep Fit team. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, we got it.
God just more. Can we just appreciate ourselves?
Yeah.
Can we just appreciate ourselves? All looking good. What will I say without you? You're so wonderful. I'm impressed. I'm happy for being here. Like I've said before, Monimak Global Foundation is all about women. To empower ourselves, to encourage ourselves, to bring that value out, to bring that beauty out, to love ourselves, to spend on ourselves, to be happy, to be strong. Like my sister have said, we have to be strong. We have to be focused. We don't need to look at what will discourage us. We have to be focused. We have to target where we are going, because a lot of hindrances will come. But you have to focus and know where you are going. You know what you are targeting. Monimak Global Foundation has been on in Africa, like I said. This is the first time in Ireland, and hopefully it will continue. It's about empower women. When I say women, I mean family. But women in the family is very, very important and very strong. Like we have said, women, like my sister have said, for bringing children, they take some things in us what we don't even know, they take it from, without sitting them down to teach them. They take it. So if we do good, they will take the good thing. If we do the other side, they will do the other side as well. That's why we women have to be strong and teach them the right thing. Concerning the topic we have said about entrepreneurship, women, we have to stand on our own without depending on anybody. To be able to do things on our own without relying, to plan for our future. So I really appreciate everybody here, and I am happy that you are here to empower yourself. Thank you very much.
And I'm just going to stay here, please. We're going to support this vision. She spent a lot, and she has been doing a lot in the past before she brought it out today. We're just going to pass around the envelopes. We're not enforcing. Whatever you have, and if you don't have, that's fine. But would appreciate your envelope, the one in front of you, and try to put your name on it, at least so she can call you and say, thank you for supporting Monimak Global Foundation. Thank you so much. So, Mrs. Yemsima Kojola, you can go and change and come for your presentation later. Thank you so much. And can I have someone to help us with this, please? Thank you so much. The next thing on the agenda is fitness. I do apologize on behalf of Iwana. She is so sorry. Our daughter had an accident yesterday, but we do work together. And I can assure you, you're going to get almost everything she was going to give us. Thank you so much. And it's going to be very practical. One or two of the ladies here are going to join us, if you don't mind, because what we wanted to show you, it's about breathing exercise and squatting. Why do we need that? 2 or 3 years ago, I was in DIT then. If I get off at my bus stop and walk 10 minutes to my college, I come back at night and God, I ask myself, what have I done today? Did I carry something heavy? Then I went to my physiotherapist and a fitness consultant. The only thing I needed to do every day was 25 squats. And since then, I could walk 2 hours. A lot of people see me on the road. I use a 2 liter, which I don't use at all. I walk a lot, and that's it. I don't even go to the gym. So we're going to be very practical today, and we're going to show you some little exercises that you can practice at home. And the first one is the breathing exercise. Can we all have a deep sigh? If you want to come forward and join us, please feel free. Can I call on Princess Dixon? Thank you so much.
You can't do squats on heels. So
yeah, you can. So for the first 2 minutes, practically what we're going to do is we're going to blow out the hair. Before we do that, I'm just going to analyze what we're going to do. We're going to be relaxed, myself alone, then blow it out at the count of 5. As you do that, your tummy is supposed to thank you, go in, exactly. Then you suck it in at the count of 10. If you're just starting, I would recommend at the count of 5. And when you suck it in, your tummy is supposed to go out. So when you're blowing it out, your tummy is supposed to come in or go in. And when you're sucking it in, your tummy is supposed to go out. And also, then you can shake it out, they call it, and be relaxed. So now we're going to do it. If anyone wants to really know what we're doing, you feel free to come forward, touch our tummy, and see if what we're doing is practical or not. 1, 2, go. Blow it out. Now we can hear you. Good. Suck it in. Now we shake it out, please. Thank you so much. May I call on Mrs. Bidemi because she was curious about this before we started the conference. Thank you so much. So we're going to do it twice for the benefit of our audience. 1, 2, 3, go. Deep sigh. Now we blow it out now. 1, 2, go at the count of 5. Suck it in. Shake it out. Deep sigh. Now we're going to do squats. Now, this is the top part of the exercise. We're supposed to stand straight. Now hands forward. Then the knee goes down gradually. Meanwhile, your heel has to come up. Yeah, that's it. That's the top part of it. But you get used to this. If you can only do 25 squats a day, then you can walk for 1 hour. You can walk for 20 minutes if you want. You can jog and be free from pain on your thighs. Strengthens your thigh, ankle, and the lower part of the body. Then we go down slowly together. Your knee goes down, and the heel comes up gradually. That's the, yeah. I can't see your heels because of the, yeah. I can't, I can't, I'm sorry to embarrass her, but I didn't see her. Come on. So we're gonna start again. She's willing to learn. She told us earlier. 1, 2, 3, girls, stretch your hands out. And slowly the knee goes down, and the heel has to come up. That's it, yeah. And engage your breathing exercise. It's easy. Honestly, I was struggling with these as well. Yes. So basically, if you can do 25 of these a day, honestly, you'll be perfect. Thank you so much. Can we all sit down? Then I'm going to call, as we use the 2 chairs. No, I didn't keep the team to sit down. Can we have the 2 chairs? Thank you so much. So there's one important very interesting, yes. There's one question a lady asked me earlier today. Ma, can you tell us about the question in the back there?
Oh, the question I asked.
She asked the question earlier today.
Oh, okay. I asked her why does the back,
Your lower back pain.
yeah,
Yeah.
why does it go in?
Now, sorry, my name is Monimak and I'm a Pilates instructor and sport injury therapist too. In Africa, most of the women have a different structure than comparing us in Europe and the rest of the countries. You basically, your structure from the lower back, you're intending to have that slight curvature so your bum is more out. Now, don't misunderstand me, I have the same problem as you. After the 2 pregnancies, actually my hyperextended, so I have a hyperextended lower back, so my bum kicks out. I didn't realize that until I was qualified as a Pilates instructor. My teacher didn't correct me out and explain to me what's the difference and why in Africa the women have that curvature. It is just your structure because the way how your body it's just a little slight difference. Normally you can help it if you tuck that deep abdominal muscle in, tuck the table under, so you're tilting this time the pelvis forward and try to lengthen the spine up, spiral it up towards the ceiling. Yeah? And then you bring in the breathing and then you can hold the rest of your body and just you relax from there. But it is how I say you need to consciously again repeat.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Exactly. So we're going to practicalize that now. And it's not going to be 2 of them. I'm going to invite 2 people from that side and 2 people from that
Can
side.
I say about this backside thing?
Yeah, sorry.
I actually like my backside.
Oh no! It's nothing wrong. It is just the body structure.
But
it's your the construction. It's a slight difference between
The European
and African.
And does it affect exercising?
No, if you're in a right position and it's explaining to you how to use it right, you can improve yourself, and through time you will have less of back muscle pain.
Actually, because initially I thought my back pain was to do with epidural. I'm a 27-year-old.
No, it's basically if you go back, you need to have a strong core muscle to protect the back muscle.
And it has nothing to do with cesarean.
No. If you have a very, very strong core muscle, you can protect your back muscles. So in any exercise, if you go in, the core muscle is very important. Now, you know yourselves, if you do a speech, from where it's coming out, the power, that's your powerhouse. So everything it comes out from, you need to think everything. Now, we call it a yielding. Everything it comes out from the center, reaching down towards the earth, into the earth, and up towards the sky. Yeah. So again, if you work that more and more, you have a more protection.
Thank you. I have that same issue as well. I have 3 children. The first is 13 in October, 10 and 6. I thought it was epidural until I learned how to sit perfectly. So we're going to practicalize it. A lot of us, when we sit down, we tend to do this. Exactly. She's doing it with me. Thank you so much. We tend to do this. We need to sit upright. And we need to lift the bum and the shoulder.
Straight on the seat.
I need someone to sit beside me. You can slump. Yeah, slump. So this is the difference now. That's the difference. So what I need you to do is to lift your bum. Is this way? Your bum, your lower back. Excellent. Your lower back. And that has to be upright.
Relax the shoulders.
Relax the shoulders. Exactly.
Take the shoulders away from the ear.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
Slow down.
No. Spine up towards the
Spine up
seat.
now. Spine up. Exactly. And we should reach. Exactly. She has it perfect now. So that's the perfect sitting position. The first few days, you're going to feel some pain, but you get used to it.
That's what I'm saying.
Please. Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like that as well.
I'm not comfortable.
And if you don't feel comfortable, probably if you drive a lot, get a pillow and put behind you. It helps a lot. Exactly. It helped me a lot. Thank you so much. I think she wants to learn as well. Sit down? Yeah, exactly. She has the sitting position. Perfect.
May I say something?
Please.
If you want to practice that position, just to lengthen the spine, you basically, it's simple. You sit against the wall, straight wall, the bum, lower back, everything, the shoulder, it's back against the wall, the head of your back, and then just roll it down, and then again just lengthen it up vertebrae by vertebrae. So that's how you can practice and bring yourself back in a lengthened position. If not, again, just remember somebody pulling your spine from the end, from the coccyx down, and from the cervical spine up. Feel that lengthening out.
Thank you so much. So for the rest of the presentation, if you have your pen, someone asked a question about our schedule and managing how to exercise. I put down, I'm sorry, I was not aware we had a projector here, but what I put down is, what I want to say to people is, try to set what you can achieve. Don't look out of your room window and say, oh, my neighbor goes walking for 2 hours every day. I have to walk it. It's not going to work for you. Set achievable goals. Do you want to split your walk? Probably you're taking your kids to school in the morning. Drop your car if it's close to you, 20 minutes walk. Walk with your kids and walk back home. Versus walking like 1 hour every day and giving up at the end of the week. Please. The second one is the gym thing. If you read, I don't go to the gym because of my schedule, but if you need to gym, probably because of the house and stuff, do you want to work it out when the kids are in school or in the evening when they're going to be buzzing you, Mommy, we need something, and distracting you, or nobody to mind them? I think you should sign up for the gym at that time, probably if they're at school, or you have someone to look after them. And also, fasting every day is bad, I say. Because the body spots it and it stores the fat. Practically, you can fast if it's essential for you to fast, probably in the church or elsewhere. But I would say you don't intentionally fast every day. It's bad for the body. What you can do is cut down your food portion. If you eat as big as me, cut it into this portion and eat frequently. That will help you. Then I drink a lot of water. If you're going out, go with your bottle. You can go with your bottle of water and drink as you go. It fills you up. Then you don't crave for chocolates or Coke or fizzy drink. It helps a lot. Then also, I wrote here cycling versus skipping. For you to get a bicycle, it's going to cost you like 200 euro, I think, for an adult. Or you can get a skipping rope, like GB said. You can get a skipping rope and skip with your kids. It's fun. I skip a lot. It costs, I don't think a skipping rope costs more than 10 euro. And you can think, oh, I can't skip anymore. You can do it. It's fun to skip. Then the next thing I have here is the natural shake. It's very helpful. We have a lot of testimony from women. It's natural. It helps you to stop craving for sugar, and also it gives you energy when you're on diet. It's called the Wellness Natural Balance Shake. We have 3 different flavors. There's chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry. And it's just 28 euro. And also, we just did the breathing exercise. That is all we have. There's no magic anywhere. The squats are very helpful. The walk is very helpful. If you can sign up to the gym and cut down your food. Please, please run away from rice. If you eat rice a lot, it's too starchy. Run away from it. Cut it down. And solid as well. For we that we're from Africa, solid. A little bit of solid, maybe 2 or 3 moles with loads of vegetables will help you. Thank you so much. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Sorry, can I ask you a question? Because somebody asked that question, but I'm not satisfied with that question and your answer. I'm a mother of 4, and I work as a full-time as a social care worker. And I'm in college as well. I'm doing this part-time college for my, anyway, yeah, to proceed anyway, to have a higher certificate. So I have 4 children, 11, 8, 4, and 2. And you can see how I am so busy, full-time work, full-time study. As a mother, when I finish work, I resume back to my work at home. And I study as well. So with this, I'm in exercise. I'm in that position as well. I have done a long day, 8 to 9, and I'm back home. How will I have time to exercise? My assignment is due next week. What time will I have to, sit down and say, okay, I have to get fit and do all that kind of thing. So she has not answered the question very well. Where is the time?
I can suggest something. Like sometimes what I do with my own kids is I just, before they go to bed, just take a 5-10 minutes walk with them.
Even when I'm tired. Like, for example, yesterday, I've been working since Thursday. We call it sleepover. And I resumed 10 because I have staff meeting, and I slept over work and came back, finished at 11. Some errands, some appointments to fill back. I didn't get home from Thursday morning. I left home 9:30 in the morning. I didn't get home until 8:30.
Yeah. But it's
so how will I exercise?
It's amazing what it can do for you, because I would have been like that as well. Like, just couldn't see how I can get out and do anything. And my sister, she's into fitness, big time into fitness, and she'd always say to me about the phone, just get out and just go for a walk. The fresh air would even do you some good, no matter how tired.
She's always outside. She's got plenty of air already.
So that fight, even fight
for yourself.
Yeah.
If you love someone, what do you do if you love someone? When we are boyfriend and girlfriend, if the mother said you are not supposed to come out, tell me the truth. You come out. You get the time out. So if you are loving yourself, you get yourself time. Get yourself time. I've got 3 boys in my house, including my husband, and they know when I say when I say this is my time, they know that on Saturday morning they have to give me breakfast in bed. Because that's my day. Yeah, that's lovely. And if they know it, when you create that time for yourself, and they actually know it, they appreciate it. They know today is Mommy's day. Someone will run up with a pot of porridge when I'm sleeping, and someone tea and everything when I'm sleeping. Even this phone, I put it aside. I won't answer it when this is my time.
Good.
Create your time. Love yourself. When you love yourself, you will be able to love others. And you do it genuinely. Love yourself, woman. I'm so passionate about it. Love yourself.
At the end of the day, when you walk out on that door, nobody won't care about your health.
Thank you so much. It's break time. Can you please make your way down to this time?
We've done our exercise.
It's free. We encourage everyone to have something.
It's need to be brought out and re-educate the people. You know, it's very hard for now.
Monimak, it's an organization.
And it's a global foundation, Women and Family.
Excuse me, please. Can we give Sinead just 2 minutes? I think she wants to have a word with us, please.
Sorry, firstly, apologies because apologies, I'm going to believe in now. It's just Bibi had said to me that if I popped in at 12:30, I didn't realise that it was running on longer because I have a canvas on the 23rd of May, so I have a canvas team in place for 2:30 that I don't want to let them down because I'm the candidate. But just firstly, to thank Yemi and the organisers for inviting me here today. I didn't really know the setup. You're lucky actually it was different because we've got a 4-page speech literally in that folder. If you open it, you know I'm telling the truth about empowerment and getting women involved in politics and about the reason why we should all become involved in our communities. Yeah. And I was so glad I didn't have to deliver the speech because it's far more relaxed. I would have put a real dampener on the whole thing, highlighting all the negativity and trying to rally the troops to get involved. But I do think it's hugely important, obviously, discussions like this and a forum where everybody can be honest and talk and network. And can I also say that I'm delighted that neither one of you are in my electoral area like you were in the election area in last 2009, because we need far more women like yourselves in politics. It's a hugely male-dominated arena. It is tough, it's difficult. I've been brought up with all of my family are involved in politics. It's ingrained in me, it's part of my soul. I love it, but it is tough. And I can honestly say you're not encouraged, and the women will know that, you're not encouraged to remain in politics because sometimes I think women are too direct and men find that very difficult to handle. I'm not speaking in every forum because I can't speak for every profession, but I certainly know in politics in Ireland there has been a culture over the years of people speaking behind closed doors and smoke screens, and literally we have a saying in Ireland where don't tell your right hand what your left hand is doing, and we've had a culture of that, and I'm not a believer in that. I think some people find me difficult to handle in that what you see is what you get. I believe in saying what you believe in. It might not always be the most popular thing to say, but if it's the truth and you're honest with yourself, nobody can accuse you of not giving 100% or being underhand or sneaky. That's just an aside, but I do think that we should be, and your generation girls, we should be really looking to get more women involved in local politics. Unfortunately, there's a lot of cynicism on a national level with politicians and politics in general at the moment, but certainly at local level, and that's where we need to build. If you only look around in your old schools, your school policy issues, everything in society is linked back to politics, even though you don't realise it. I remember when I went on 10 years ago onto our town council at the very outset with 24 acres of wasteland in the centre of Tullamore town. And I remember going in all gung-ho, and my 3 children at the time were, my eldest is 17 now, so he was 7, there were 7, 5 and 18-month-olds at the time when I first ran. And to cut a long story short, I proposed a town park, which we now have. And one of the older, more experienced gentlemen on the council looked at me and he said, better councillors have come and gone before you and there won't be a town park.
Now, if there's one thing you don't do is tell me I can't do something, because that's one way of ensuring it can be done. And I thought, right, there's only one way to do this, and I got a group of women around me, and I thought we need to put a playground committee in place, we need to get our petitions in place, and we need to let the local government say, the local council, that we are serious about our town park. I was told there was going to be heroin addicts in our sand pit, there was going to be needles, there was going to be cats, there was going to be litter, there was going to be drug addicts, there was going to be everything. So every argument they came up with, the women counteracted, and we did research around the country. And we're one of the best town parks in the country at the moment. So when you look at local politics, don't think it doesn't involve me. I'm getting a little bit disheartened going around the elections at the moment. I'm out 7 hours a day, literally knocking on doors in every area. And I will say, a lot of members, I will say not from the Nigerian community, because Bibi and others are making a very conscious effort that they're going on the register and partaking in the local elections, which is great. But I'm finding others, I will say from Eastern European countries that are in the town, that look and say, I don't want to get involved, I have no interest. And that's shameful. And a lot of Irish saying, I've no interest in becoming involved, I don't want to get involved. Everybody should have a say in the community in which they live, however small. We spoke the small drops earlier on making the ocean. Everybody has a voice, and everybody should make their voice heard. And the first way of going about that is taking part in your local elections, getting a voice in your community, getting involved. If it's a playground committee, if it's a local residents association, if it's the arts centre, whatever, get involved and take part. So look, can I just again briefly to thank you for today. Obviously, if you have friends in the Tullamore area, now is my time to pitch me as the best candidate in the whole area. That's where my honesty comes out. Irrespective, and I will say, irrespective of party politics, local elections, I think a lot of people find it's about personalities, you know, people you will work. It's not rocket science. All anybody wants is somebody who'll roll up the sleeves and work, speak up and be counted. I certainly tick those boxes. So if you have family members, friends living in the Tullamore electoral area, I certainly welcome the support, and into the future, hopefully if I'm re-elected, I look forward to working with everybody in their area, in their communities, to make Tullamore an even better society for us to live in, work in, and bring up our families in. So again, thank you, and good luck with the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. It's still very, very time. We want people to stand up. Please walk around. Feel free. Eat something. Drink something.
Can I just quickly say something about what Sinead said? The fact about the community is that whether we like it or not, we're all involved. We live in the community. Somebody said people who don't vote give permission to bad politicians. So if you're not, once you're over the age of 18, exercise your right to vote. Register to voth. 14th of May is the final register.
No, 6th.
It's the 16th.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. 6th. Oh, 6th in Galway. It's 14th.
No,
they changed it. Right. So 6th is the last day, which is next week.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday next week. If you have not done it, please go and do it. It's a right. A right is something that nobody can take from you. Go and tick that box. Well, Sinead is asking us to vote for her, so yeah. So honestly and truly, you're already involved. You can't get out of it. It's not something that somebody wants to ask you to do. You're already there. You live in this community. Make your voices heard. Make your voice heard. Make a statement. Thank you. You know that
Fish. I want to.
This is coffee.
What they said. I want to get some.
Yes, you did. Because you did. I'm going to talk to you. We're going to invite you. Gonna tell us something about Keep Fit Team. Amen. All right, that is it. Please, let's put our hands together for her.
Thank you once again. I hope you are enjoying yourself. This is just a forum to interact together and to at least share our feelings. And I hope everybody have been empowered in one way or the other. Now, I just want to say something that really works for me. And I know it can work for everybody. Like I said, I'm into sports. I do sports to international level. I play handball to international level. I play baseball and a softball to international level. And since then, since I've started, since I've been growing up, I don't know when my mom was bringing me up when I was little, but since I was growing up, I don't take medicine. I'm not saying medicine is bad, but I so much believe that because I've started playing for my state since when I was 11. So I so much believe that when I go to the stadium, even if I'm having a headache, by the time I leave the stadium, the headache is gone. And it really works for me till I get to this country. When I now relax, I didn't go out again to do sports, to jog, to sweat. I was so relaxed. That was when I started going to GP, complaining unnecessarily, going for this test, go and do that. You know, I started taking medications. I'm not saying medicine is bad, but to be addicted is bad. If you're on prescription, good, but not to be addicted. Somebody like me, when I realized that, what's wrong with you? You can go back to your, what you have been doing before. I started my exercise again. They diagnosed me that I'm diabetic in 2007. I said, where is it coming from? Where am I getting it from? And I just talked to myself. I said, well, the best medication I can get for myself is to start again, to do my exercise. I don't really, for me, it works for me to do exercise. And that's why I'm inviting as many that wants to join the Keep Fit team. As a woman, we need to look good. We need to be happy inside and out. We need to love ourselves. We can work 24 hours, but at the same time, we need to enjoy that money. We need to love ourselves. So, like the speakers have said, out of these busy hours, out of being working, heartlessness, we still need to create time for ourselves, to look after ourselves. When we love ourselves, that's when people can love us. When we stand for ourselves, that's when we are able to stand. So as many that wants to join the Keep Fit team can write their names down and their contact number. We'll get back to them when we are going to start and how it's going to work. You're not paying anything. All you need is just to get yourself comfortable trainer and nice outfit that will make you look comfortable. That is that. And about the entrepreneurship that my sister just enlightened us. We have to be we have to stand on our own, not rely on anybody. So as many that want to join the Successful Retirement Planning Workshop, there will be a workshop for that. If you want to register or write your name for that, there will be a group again. If you really need to know how to plan your retirement, register as well. You just put your names down and your phone number. We'll come back to you, we'll talk together how we're going to do it, how it's going to work, and how it's going to plan. I hope everybody, we have enjoyed ourselves and we have been empowered enough today, at least, to move on from there. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the people that I did not, when I was doing my welcoming speech, my big daddy, my pastor. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. May I ask your name, sir? Can we invite Pastor Olalekon so that you can? Thank you so much. So come on thank you so much. And now we're going to invite, that's the last session. Yes. We're going to invite Pastor Emmanuel. Maybe you don't know him. He's in charge of the Great Commission in Dublin, Power of His Word Ministry, and that is global. He's actually starting a branch in Nigeria very soon. A round of applause for him. And he's going to talk about overcoming marital challenges. If you need to reach him, I've not finished, sir. His contact is 085, if you have your pen with you, 8322 085, I start. 8322 922. I start again. 085 8322 922. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Pastor Monimak. Thank you.
Pastor, preacher, I don't know what you're going to call it. Okay. Psychologist, counselor, husband, wife. Well, I'm just here to present in few times that I'm having overcoming marital challenges. I'll try as much as possible to compress this. I thank every speakers that have been giving us, that have been presenting their speech on different topics. And I know we are indeed empowered. Thank you everybody for coming. I don't want to take this privilege in vain. I want to thank the host and the CEO of Monimak Global Foundation, Stayemi. I thank you so much. Thank you, JB, Princess, thank you. I thank my pastor over there. And again, I thank my wife. Overcoming marital challenges. I want to talk to everybody, married, yet to married, single, or let me say, those that are called the matured single among us. Well, I know Monimak Global Foundation is not a religion or whatever, so we have in the house Christian, non-Christian, and everybody. But please permit me, I'm a pastor, and somehow I'm deep into that destiny I've given me to do. So you just permit my pastoral language sometimes, it might come up, but I know it's for everybody. So if we're going to overcome marital challenges, we have thousands and thousands of books there by psychologists, marriage counselors that you can buy, but I'm very sure it's not all those books that are going to empower your marriage. Some are very good, and some of them just want to say something out there. And the literature I'm going to present, I know you're going to benefit from this. Number one, Christian, and I believe almost everybody believe that marriage is an institution from God. God found marriage. God established marriage. I don't know now, maybe you are saying, okay, between man and woman, or let me not go that way. But God instituted marriage, And if marriage is an institution from God, somehow, I think the only thing I will be able to address when it comes to marriage is the foundation. I want to try as much as possible if we can compress our time, the time I'm having. I think Princess is still coming to give us a little talk concerning entrepreneurship. But let's talk about the foundation of marriage. Okay, because if the foundation is not in order, nothing will stand right. We have this beautiful hotel here, or your house, but there's a part of a building that you cannot see, and it's hidden under the soil, and that is what carries everything. It's called the foundation. The foundation of marriage is from God. Now, I read in my Bible, I told them a pastor, permit me, Christian or non-Christian, in Genesis chapter number 2, verse 22, the Bible said, Genesis 2, if you're a Christian, you can put it down and check this. Genesis 2, verse 22, the Bible said to us that when God brought Eve out of the rib of Adam, the Bible said, and God brought her to the man. That is the foundation. God brought her to the man. Now, and we Christians, we are fond of one scripture. We quote this scripture all the time. It's in the book of Luke, and we say, what God have joined together, let no man put asunder. But I'm telling you, if God will look down and answer to that today, 99.9 marriage and union we have, God will say, do I join you? God brought her to the man. And I said, God. If she's the only lady in the Garden of Eden and the only man, when you finish creation, just leave them alone and go back to your glory and stay in heaven there. One way or the other, they're going to cross each other's path. But God said, no, I'm not going to let him find her, or I go to him, and God brought her. Now your husband, your wife, is it God that brought her to the man? And let the ladies ask themselves, is it God that brought me to him? Because sometimes we think if marriage is God's institution, we think we can do it with human understandings or human ability. Sometimes there are things we look into or we look for in marriage, and that is not what we need. Sometimes we look for sex, we look for romance, we look for this and that, and instead of you looking for romance, you should get a revelation. There should be a conviction. When this guy Adam was sleeping and God did the operation, and when he woke up and he saw the woman that God brought to him, and he said, a bone of my bone, a flesh of my flesh. There's an instinct in him that made him to know. So the problem we're having in marriage today, the question I want to ask the couples, single, divorce, challenges in marriage, the man you call your husband, the woman you call your wife, is it God that bring her to you? That is number one, and that is the foundation. I wouldn't want to stay too long on that, even if you don't believe God. When you met him or her, does anything speaks to you, even those that are not Christian and those that doesn't believe God, believe there's something we call instinct. Even humanists believe there's an instinct that should talk to you from within. And if the marriage if marriage and home are not in order, the country will be troubled. Today we have too much of single parents. And I saw something in my own Bible. I told them, Pastor, I know it's not for Christian gathering, but let me use the tools that I have. That God said, Jesus said to the disciples that it wasn't so in the beginning, but the hardness of our heart caused that. Let me give you number 2 point. If it's not God that brought her to you, if it's not God that took you to him, then we need to ask a question. Then the foundation is not in order. I saw something in the Bible again when God said to her, when Sarah said to her husband Adam and said, you have to let go this woman Hagar. And Abraham said, no, she's a woman you gave to me. She's now a mother, and I know God is not going to eat back his word. That very night God called Abraham and said, you have to send her away. Though she have a child in the house now, but that's not your wife. You might have a child. You might have a child together. But the point is that if she or he, if that union is not from God, the foundation is not right. Then if the foundation of every home is not right, there's a problem. It can be corrected. Because I'm a pastor, I want to tell you I know God that can turn miracle I turn mistakes to miracle. Number 2, you must come fully into marriage. Psychologically, we are meant to know, to understand that every past relationship you have definitely took a little of you. And now, by the time you come back, by the time you now met the one you call your husband or wife, you've forgotten that a little of you is somewhere else. You come into that new union, into that marriage, into that relationship, not fully you. Every man you met, every woman you met in the past relationship, they took a little bit of you down with them. He is having a little of you, she's having a little of you. By the time you come now, you want to have a marriage and you want to start a home, did you take your time to bring back the little of you that is somewhere? So you and when you come into a relationship like that, I'm telling you, it's not going to work, because you are not fully, a whole you is not in that union. And let me tell you this, if a whole you is coming into a union, you don't have to bring somebody along with you. It's A and B. Somehow, some people have taken out of you, and you are not a whole yourself, but somehow, and the B is that sometimes you come into a union, and somebody is coming with you. You've not let go Peter and John. You still have them in your memory. Though you cannot tell the new man that you're telling I do at the altar or at the registry, and sincerely you don't really know what you are doing, you only say I do. Okay? Because you still have Peter, you still have Mary, you still have Joanna with you, and when you have them with you, you have to let them go. In a marriage like that, that is when he offends you and he's not around, and you begin to think, oh, it's just not like John. Why can't I marry John? Oh, how come John leave me alone and John relocate to Canada? And your mind is still with John, though in a new relationship, that means you came into a new relationship with somebody else. And marriage like that can never work. You have to let go of the past, come a whole you. That is when you see a marriage and union works. These are the things that cause problem in our home. You make a comparison, or you've not taken your time to bring back a whole you into a union. Let me give us quickly another point here. In every marriage, you need third party. Oh, the marriage counselor have told us we don't need a third party. It's true, because I told you when you are coming to marriage, you don't have to bring the past relationship, or sometimes it's not even somebody you have a past relationship with. It might be you come into a relationship, into a marriage, and you are coming into it with your mom and your dad, and somehow your husband will say, do I marry you or mom? Every little thing you have to pick your phone and you are calling mommy. No. The first letter M in marriage stands for maturity. Are you mature to stay in it? And I told you need third party. The marriage counselor will tell you you don't need a third party. As a pastor, I want to tell you need a third party. The third party in every home and union should be God. Okay, if you believe that with me, can you put your hands together, please? Let's do something. So you need a third party. You cannot handle it alone because it's God's institution. So you need God. Not dad, not mom, not a past, not a friend, but you need a third party, which is God. And even if you don't believe in God, there are some of us that doesn't believe in God. Somebody believe in forces or nature. Then you need that what you call the forces of power, because it's spiritual. If you're gonna believe me, I'm telling you, marriage is spiritual. It goes beyond the natural and the physical thing that we do under the quilt or duvet in our bedroom. So you need a third party. Come on, give me a smile. These are the things that are going to make marriage work. I'm going to rush down quickly. The number one thing that used to stop marriage to work is before the marriage, we used to have what we call courtship. It's a friendship that develops to courtship, and when courtship matured, now it becomes marriage. But the problem we used to have is that The moment we say I do at the altar, we sign that document, and now you can create the bride, we stop the courtship. And if it's the courtship that makes him to go crazy about you, oh, Juliana, can I come and pick you for lunch now? That is courtship. You can't just wait to see him weekend, that is courtship. But the moment we have the ring and say I do, and we have the wedding certificate at home, we stop the act of courtship. And can I tell you one thing? It's killing marriage. Courtship must continue. The very thing that makes you go crazy for him and for her should be there. And that is when you can have your home. Oh, before you can, sometimes he travels and you just pick his picture, a picture. You are crazy about him or her. It's courtship. The moment we say I do, and again, the moment the children set in, we shift our love from her or from him to the kids, and you are killing the home. You are killing the marriage. The courtship should continue. Let me give you another one. There should be a fellowship. If your husband, whatever is a belief or is belief, let's continue the fellowship. The fellowship together. The fellowship. In fellowship, there should be communication. Oh, come on. There should be communication. These are the things that kills marriage. We stop communicating with each other. And sometimes we think we are communicating, but she's not speaking your language, or he's not speaking my language. And I'm not talking of the verbal language now. She should understand if my content has changed, even if I'm not speaking verbally, she should hear what I'm saying. Sometimes your husband is saying something and you don't get it. It's killing home. You said the dining, maybe I don't need the dining now, maybe I need the bedroom. And I think you should know. Because we don't really understand, we are not communicating, or we are communicating, we don't understand each other's language. These are killing marriage. There should be continuation of building love. The love that brought you together, you have to continue building it till death do us apart. So say you and him, or you and her. You have to continue building the love. You have to continue building the understanding and the trust in each other. Let me say this to you. We had the marriage counselor told us marriage is not to be endured. It's a lie. Marriage is to be endured. There must be an endurance, because I'm telling you, bring a couple of 100 years together now, they will tell you there's something. Oh, somebody else brought her up. These are two different nations coming together now. There's something I'm going to endure in her. There's something in me she needs to endure. The marriage counselor will tell you, and every marriage book, 7 principles of good home, say 24 principles, tell you, oh, marriage is not to be endured. It's a lie. Marriage is to be endured. Endure. Yes. Okay, can I give you another one? Have you heard the marriage counselor telling you marriage is not to be managed? Is that true? You have to manage your marriage in order not to damage it. Put your hands together for that. If you don't manage your marriage, you damage it. You damage it. You damage it. Communication is part of it. You manage it with communication, with trust, with understanding. And for the mature single, somebody might be a divorcee here. Somehow we couldn't go into that a new relationship, or is gone, and you have another person now beckoning to you, but somehow your heart is still bleeding. You think every man is the same thing. You are scared to step into a new relationship. God wants to pull you out of your tunnel, but it's like you prefer the darkness of the tunnel because your heart is still bleeding. For every good home, there must be a forgiveness. Forgive him or her that is out of your life, and even forgive yourself and start a new relationship. Stop the bleeding. Let the wound in your heart heal. So you can have an opportunity to step out. And I'm telling you, every woman is not the same, or every man. Oh, Johnny is bad. Johnny breaks my heart. And Johnny. If the fingers are not equal, we will not behave equally. Somebody loves you. You are too beautiful to be ignored. Put your hands together for yourself. You are too beautiful to be ignored. Okay. want to say this. You will hardly hear any pastor telling you this truth. Pastor, thank God I'm not the only pastor in the house now. And pastors will tell you, and priests will tell you, you can't divorce. But some time ago, something happened. I have a lady that she's been physically abused by her husband, rape, beat, do all those stuffs. And I said, you need your life and you have to be there for the kids. You might not be able to divorce, but you can avoid. I'm not telling you to divorce, but you can avoid. And this is somehow majorly, I've seen it in the Christian setup, most especially the Africans, because of our culture. I know some of my Irish friends, if you're going to abuse them physically, the next thing is either she's telling you to go or she's leaving for you. But somehow the Africans, we just want to stay in it. I remember a singer in Nigeria, and he's late now. His name is Fela Nicola Kokuti. The man sang and said, suffering and smiling. I'm telling you, you need your life to live. You might not be able to divorce, but if what you are enduring, because I told you in marriage you're going to endure, but if the weight of what you are enduring is going to kill you, if you can't divorce, you can avoid, leave. GB said it, not me. Oh, wow. Are you still with me?
Yeah.
Let the wound heal. I'm going to close with this one. I'm going to close with this one because I want Princess Ika to come. And concerning this marriage, she can as well work with me. She has been my sister. Let me tell you this. Somehow you call him or her your husband, your wife, and you run to the altar because you think, oh, I'm of age now. The pressure of the family is on me. My friends are married. I'm now 38, 40, and you rush into it. And the person you are saying, I do to, either him or her, you don't know each other. You need to know him or her. The one you imagine, the person I'm going to give the rest of my life to, I need to know you. Because marriage is not just me and you coming together, bringing babies to the world. I need to know you. I need to dig down. I need to see your roots, because if I don't understand your roots, I cannot handle your fruit. It's like I'm talking like a pastor now, huh? Okay. I told you before. I need to know your root in order to understand the kind of fruit you're going to bring. You need to know him or her. If not, the marriage is not going to work. Start from the foundation. Is it God that brought him or her to you? Are you bringing somebody into the marriage, the past experience? Or at that part of you left somewhere and you are not coming to this union? And I ran up with this and I told my wife, I can't fall in love. You said, why? Can we put our hands together for Yemi, please? That's a good one. Why? Oh, princess, I'm coming. I'm gonna nail everybody now. And I'm saying it. I can't fall in love. In marriage, there are stages you need to get to before you fall in love. If we are not going to deceive ourselves now, let me now step out as a pastor. Pastors will not tell you this, but I'm telling you this as a psychologist. You don't need to fall in love. Now, everything that falls comes on the floor. Write it down. Oh, you getting me now? Everything that falls comes on there. So I don't want to fall in love. I need to know you to some certain level. I need to see the roots and understand the fruit. Then because imagine those that you fall in love now take advantage of you and they use you as a footmat. And it's love, emotion that brings you on the floor. Imagine what you call love bring you down from your horse. And they take advantage of you. And I said, in marriage, there's something we call age and stage. So there should be age, there should be stage before I can fall in love. I'm closing with that. I can't fall in love because everything that falls comes on the floor. But I can stand in love with you. After a while, standing in love, after a while, I can walk in love with you. And then understanding our roots and seeing the fruit, then knowing if I fall in love with you, you're not going to take advantage of me. You will know I'm doing that because of love. You will not mash on me but bring me up. When you understand I'm a glory in your life and I understand you are a glory in my life, if you like, I can even go to the grave in love with you.
Oh.
I believe if we understand all this, we can minimize the problem, the marital problem, and again, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. You've been bottling, you have bottled too much, your heart is bleeding, the past experience, or what is, imagine a lady called me and said, Pastor, my husband is not doing it very well in the house, is not doing his duty on the bed, and I caught him watching pornography. And I said to her, did you know him? Or is that the way he liked it? Thank God the keep fit ladies are there so I can talk to dad and mom here. The way he likes it, are you doing it that way? You need to understand each other. Because I said to her, being a pretty lady, very good in the kitchen, and very good when it comes to your duty in the bedroom, makes you a good housewife, but it is only God that can assure you a happy home. When you do the little you can do, whatever you don't understand about her or him, then you can pray together, talk to somebody, have a prayer partner, read books, read counselor. I believe we can overcome marital challenges and we can have a good home and a good community, a good nation. Thank you. Our question. Thank you.
Well done, Pastor.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. By the grace of God, I think I'll be 15 years old in marriage.
In marriage.
But age has got nothing to do.
Yes.
About experience, about obstacles that will come at any time.
Yeah.
But thank God, by the grace of God, God has been helping me. But you said we were talking about third party.
Yeah.
Fine, I'm a Christian. Even there are still Christians, you understand, who still, you know, have obstacles, who still endure, who still go through rigors of marriage. But I want to say there are instances and times that we shouldn't be too spiritual for the Christian, you know, audience among us. But there are instances where we actually need a third party. Where, you know, the spirituality comes into being. Where your own physical power will not do anything for you. Even, you see, I will still believe that there are some people, some women that have been beaten, women that have been killed, women whose emotions have been trampled upon because there has been no involvement of third party. So whether you like it or not, there are instances where we need to speak out. There are instances where you need to go to somebody that will actually bring a kind of, you know, some people that are died. Instances where they are not supposed to have gone. Instances where their emotions are not supposed to be trampled about or on. I'm a Christian. My husband is a pastor. I still believe there are instances where a third party.
Because our husband is a pastor, the man is not here, I'm going to honor him. Can we put our hands together for our husband? There's a man in my office.
I still believe there are instances where a third party should come into being.
Let me answer that question. Oh, Jimmy, you want to help me?
Yeah, so I was going to say that just listening to you now, I mean, this made it really clear for me. I wouldn't even have thought of this before I came in here to listen to you about the third party issue. I think I would stick with the third party of involving God. And then maybe if we start to rephrase it and say, when you need help, get help.
That's why I run it up. I said, talk to somebody. But the main third party you need, can I tell you one thing? If marriage is God, if marriage happens to be God institution, the devil is not going to attack what he is doing, but what God is doing. Most especially if that marriage is going to bless you, bring forth kids, glorious kid from your loins, the devil is not going to fold his hand. But the third party you need is God.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm not saying.
Can I say this? Can I say this? Okay, and that, don't question me when we go. Do you understand that sometimes even doctors have headache and they take prescription for themselves?
Exactly.
Okay, so being a pastor, married counselor, and all whatever, we used to sometimes make it hard. But can I tell you one thing? Don't allow any issue, misunderstanding to be on the same bed with you. We must resolve it before we sleep, or else she's not sleeping, I'm not sleeping. We have to resolve, because when the little flame of conflict or misunderstanding you are living tonight is a flame tonight. By tomorrow morning, it's going to become a fire. Yeah. You understand this? So you need a third party. It should be God, first of all, and somehow when you pray to God on your own, for Christian sisters in the house, some are not Christian. We Christian, we used to say iron sharpeneth iron. You can talk to your priest, you can talk to your pastor, you can talk to a prayer partner, but you just, when marriage is your life, you just don't open your heart, the treasury of your living to anybody anyhow. Can I tell you one thing? If you're not convinced enough to talk to me as your pastor, get another pastor in the house. But at the end, like what GB said, you still need to talk to somebody, because when you bottle it too much, it's going to explode. Bam! Say something, Princess, man. Because when you have a tormentor, you will need mentolator. Okay. In marriage, you need a wife or husband that will stay behind you and accelerate your speeds. She said your marriage should make you. You need a wife or husband that will be behind you, push you and accelerate your speed. And if he or she is not strengthened enough to push you to accelerate your speed, let him or her be beside you. So, and everybody will say, anytime you see her or you see him, you always see his wife or her husband behind you. But when your partner is not beside you or behind you, the moment they are standing against you, then you need to seek a counsel. It's either marriage or mortuary. Talk to somebody and talk to God. Let's leave it that way.
A big round of applause again for Pastor Emmanuel. We're coming to the end of the program. But before then, may I say we have a forum as well for married people and singles that are in a relationship. You can email us at lovingandaffectionatecouple.gmail.com. With support, we mentor people that are going through trauma in marriage. But it is your decision to move on if you choose to move on. Princess Dixon has said a lot. There's two sides of the coin. We can never judge. So thank you so much. Can we give a round of applause to Mrs. Makajola? She has done so well. Honestly, she surprised me today. She really surprised me. She's so calm, so quiet. She doesn't tell it all until you come. I'm impressed. Thank you so much. A big round of applause. Thank you. So we're going to invite her now to give us the vote of thanks as we round this up. And I want to say on her behalf, thank you to everyone that have come from all parts of Ireland. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for yourselves.
Thank you, everybody. Once again, men in the house, thank you very much. You are honored. Women in the house, I'm so proud of you for giving your time. I'm happy. Thank you very much for coming. People from far and near, people all the way from Galway, from Dublin, from Ennis, Mullingar, Athlone. I really appreciate you all. Thank you very much. From Portlish, from Barbrigan. Thank you. Even from Africa. I really appreciate you all. And I know everybody have been empowered today. At least we have one thing to bring home. I think I'm talking. Yes. We have one thing to bring home. We have at least been empowered. Women, we need to love ourselves. That is the main thing. Love yourself first. If you love yourself, you can do everything. Then people will begin to love you. I really appreciate you, my speaker. Thank you very much. God will honor you. Pastors, thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Please, before you leave, let's take a photograph, group photograph and individual.
And hopefully in future, we still have more programs. It's all about women and family. When I say women, it could be our children later. It could be our teenagers. It could be our boys and girls that we need to talk to on different issues.